Loom Knitting 101, Basic Terms and the Slip Knot. For today's tutorial, you will need a knitting loom. Today we will be using the Kiss regular gauge knitting loom with one spacer in between the pins and the pegs, your knitting tools, and a ball of yarn. Today we will be using Manos Maxima worsted weight 100% merino wool in the color chamomile. Before we begin learning to knit on the loom, I want to cover a few basic terms that you might want to be familiar with before you continue into our future tutorials. The first term I want to cover is gauge. Gauge refers to the number of stitches per inch of your finished garment. It can be influenced by how tight or loose you make your knitting or by how large of a needle or loom you use. Most yarns have a specific size of needle that are recommended to work with to get the recommended gauge for that yarn. The second is the anatomy of your loom. We are going to be working with the Kiss brand of looms. The main reason we chose Kiss looms is because they allow you to adjust your gauge without purchasing another loom. This allows you to refine your knitting similar to how you could refine it with needles. They also offer 5 different sizes of looms so you can get an even broader variety of available gauges. When looking at the Kiss loom, the first thing you will notice is that it features 2 boards that are pressed together to form one side of the loom. The first row in front has these upside down U's that are referred to as pegs. All looms have pegs, but they might look slightly different than these. The second row has pins. These are specific to the Kiss looms, so the loom you are working on might not have them. The pins are used to increase or decrease the gauge by adding or decreasing the number of spacers in between the pins and the pegs. These are the pegs, and these are the pins. If you're not using the Kiss loom or you're using one of their fine gauge looms, you won't have the pins, but you can still follow along with us in our tutorials. The next part of loom knitting that you'll want to get familiar with is the difference between a knitting tool and a purling tool. All looms will come with their own version of the knitting tool. This is the one that comes with the Kiss loom. The knitting tool features an angled hook at the tip that allows you to scoop up your stitches. It can also be used to purl, but the Kiss loom comes with a purling tool. This is something that I have only seen with the Kiss looms, but other looms might have something similar. It features a hook on the end that can be used to get inside the pegs while purling, similar to a crochet hook. Next, I want to cover the different parts of your work that we will refer to. Once you've cast on your first row of stitches onto the loom, you'll have 2 pieces of yarn coming out the end. The piece that is attached to your ball of yarn is called the working yarn, and that is what you'll be working with most of the time to create new stitches. The piece that is not attached to anything is called the tail end. The next term I want to cover is stitch markers. These are used to indicate specific places in your pattern that you will need to remember. I generally use them at the beginning and end of my work to ensure that I always have the correct number of stitches and I haven't dropped any along the way. Many patterns will recommend you use a stitch marker and will even indicate the best places to use them. I made these stitch markers with some jewelry making supplies and they work perfect for the Kiss loom. I attached them to the pin in between the 2 pegs that I am working to indicate the position in the pattern. Last, I want to cover the difference between the wrong side and the right side of your work. In needle knitting, you alternate working your project on the right side, or the front of your work, and the wrong side, or the back. In loom knitting, you will always work the right side, but the wrong side will be the one facing you. This is a swatch of stockinette stitch that I made. This is the right side, and this is the wrong side. When you're looking at your loom, you'll be looking at the wrong side coming out of your loom and facing you, and the right side will be facing down. But as you follow the pattern, you will always work the right side. Now that we've covered all the basic terms you'll need to know for loom knitting, let's make our first slip knot. The slip knot is something that you'll need to do prior to casting on your first row of stitches. It's how we make the first stitch. To make a slip knot, first wrap the yarn around your pointer finger 3 times so that you have 3 different strands of yarn on the inside of your finger. 1, 2, and 3. For step 2, you'll take the middle strand or strand 2 and take it out and over strand 3 or the strand closest to your tip of your finger. For step 3, take strand 3, or the strand that is now in the middle, and cross it out and over strand 2, the one that is now closest to the tip of your finger. Step 4, take strand 2 again and pull it out and off your finger, letting the other strands fall. And that's how you make a slip knot. Want more loom knitting tutorials? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow our blog at vintagestorehouse.com to get new videos and posts sent right to your inbox. Thanks for watching!